So how do you think a new Christian can know that they are in that new pattern, that they're in that new cycle of becoming sanctified?
That's such a good question. I had a mentor in college, and he would always say, I know this is real because I can look back and say, I'm changed. I am not the man I used to be. And I think, I'm only 26, but looking back, even just like walking with the Lord for, I don't know, since I was, a kid, I would say since I was probably 12, 13, I've like actively sought after God. And I can even say in my own desires and the own ways of thinking and the own sin habits, just the things that used to draw me, the things that used to scare me are no longer there. And then it's like you're an onion. Everybody's an onion. It's like you get one layer of flesh, and it's like you think you conquered the world, and the next day you realize there's, we're eat up with, the flesh. But God is always moving and actively sharpening us, transforming us, and changing us. Which goes back to Romans 12. You've got that spiritual, true, the beauty of the presence of God, the beauty of Psalm 91 is that in God's presence, in God's safety, in God's salvation, and constant fellowship and communion with Him, we are being changed.
Yeah.
We're being always transformed. And so, Psalm 91, just to tie it back, it opens, "He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will abide in the shadow of the Almighty." We talk about abiding in Christ, spending time in the practicals. Yeah. I think sometimes we approach abiding and we're like, God, I got to, be on my face 10 hours a day. It's like, no, get up, surrender yourself to Him, give Him your mind, give Him your thoughts, give Him your emotions, stay on the altar, and make a conscious decision to turn upward.
And look what we're not to be trusting in. Ourselves.
Yeah.
We're trusting in Him. Dakota, I love your question, though. So we gave you answers that were pretty good, but they were pretty good for somebody who's at least made enough progress of walking in the Spirit till they can feel it, and they've developed some kind of way of measuring and looking back.
Sure.
I'd like to ask you, you're a little younger than we are, and to be frank, this is something I'm working on in another endeavor. I'm working on some way to help people measure systematically, daily, weekly. How can I tell if I'm on track to growing in the Lord, to listen to His Spirit as opposed to listen to my own desires? Because they scream pretty loud.
Yeah.
I mean, what would you say to somebody your age who maybe you've led to the Lord through God's grace, the Spirit through you? How do you help them to get started to listen?
So to begin, I could give some examples with some good buddies of mine that I've had a similar experience with in the context that you just put it in. But how can I get a new Christian, to really grasp on to the revelation of Christ's sacrifice for us?
We're not going to make much progress in terms of walking in step with the Lord till we understand what happened in the sanctification process, in the salvation process, and really believe it in our heart that it was real.
Right.
So you start with people, do you realize what just happened?
Right.
Do you believe it in your heart?
Right, yeah.
And I don't think there's a better place to start. We're sitting here learning together, iron sharpens iron.
Right, yeah. It really is just fundamental. When I share the gospel, I'm just going to give them the plain truth in hopes that I don't scare them away in a loving heart, which is the best way you can do it. And the way I do it is just to show that we have a sin nature and we are sinful beings. And that sin that we have is the result will be the result of our damnation. So we have to trust in Christ, and we have to realize that we've taken something from God and we've gone astray from God's law, and we need to resolve that. And not only we need to do it, it's like we should have every single fiber in our being. We should just want to do it naturally, because the sacrifice Christ gave for us is again, it's impossible to put into words.